Hello, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I know it is the screen is still dark because it's not a sunny day, so there's no much natural light, and I hope that you can still look at the Buddha instead of me. Okay. Okay. So happy Friday. And we are going to do the meditation. Yes. And Sashi just texted me about, okay, Sashi just text me about, there are a lot of folks or a few folks asking if there is any chance to meditate or when is that date, right, to be coming. Okay. I hope we can be, soon, but uh, it's it's like meditating with a mask on. It's really not comfortable. I'm not sure if everyone is okay with that. But let's see. Okay, but we are going to start, right? Okay, we're going to start the meditation, and we're going to begin with the walking, right? Okay, walking meditation. So walk mindfully and always, right? You can focus on your breathing or you can focus on your steps. Okay, so I would rather uh, focusing on my breathing. Okay, but sometimes because I was used to focus on the steps that am taking, so it's kind of like struggling. Okay, but you can choose one. Okay, uh, whenever you are going to anywhere, okay, like maybe you're going to just walk around uh, the rooms that where the computer or the screen is, so you can kind of like hearing the stop sign, right? Or you can just go out, but our meditation walking usually ends at 10:06, okay, 6 minutes after 10. Okay, so let us start. Okay, so just don't forget to go back to our uh, the cushions after the walkings. Okay, so walk mindfully. And you may stay where you are and be mindful on your breathing. Okay, so let us face the Buddha, and we're going to pay our respect to the Buddha, our teacher. So half bow first. Okay, so let us take our seat. Okay, so you might notice that I'm very dark. There's no lighting, yes, because uh, for the only reason that I can show my face, it's not dark, okay, it is because the natural light. Right? So today it's not a sunny day, so not much natural light, so it will be pretty dark. Right? But I know that I might be, not darker than last Friday, right? Okay. Okay, so get yourself a comfortable, balanced sitting posture. Okay. Sit straight through your spine, shoulders relaxed, chin pressed down a little bit. You may close your eyes or you can keep your eyes half open. So take 3 deep breaths. Fresh air in and breathe out all of your stress. After taking 3 deep breaths, let us relax ourselves from head to toe. So relax your scalp, your forehead, and your eyebrows. Relax your eyes and nose. Relax your cheeks and lips. Relax your ears and down to your neck and shoulders. Relax your arms all the way down to your fingertips. Relax your chest and abdomen. Relax your back and your lower back. Relax your legs and all the way down to your toes. So now we have relaxed ourselves from head to toe. And we're going to do it one more time. And this time we're going to do it from outside in. So relax your hair and your skin. Relax your muscles, your nerves, and your blood vessels. Relax your bones and joints. Relax your inner organs and your brain. So now we have relaxed ourselves from head to toe and outside in. So now we are in a complete relaxation state. So it is the best time for us to do the meditative concentration. So this training is for us to be focused. So let us focus on our breathing. It's called mindful breathing. So just be mindful on your breaths. So each breath that you take in and out, you should be mindful. So when breathing in, be mindful on the air, how deep it can reach you. When breathe out, just check on how long or how short your breath is. So just observe your breathing. It's called mindful breathing. And if your mind always wanders around, that means that you are not good at being just mindful on your breathing or on certain objects and observing it, and that is fine. You can try another technique called breath counting. So using counting your breathing cycle from 1 to 5, and that helps you to get focused too. So just take breathing in and out as a cycle. So the first breathing cycle, you can count 1. The next, you can count 2. So on up to 5. Or you can challenge yourself to count 10, up to 10. So no exceed to number 10. Okay, so up to 10, then you go back to number 1 and start all over again. So one thing that you should be noticed or should know for the breath counting techniques is that when you lost your number or you are counting but there are thoughts or you're still distracted, then you have to start all over again. So that's very simple too. Okay, so let us try this technique. So if you are counting, you can stick with counting all the way through. Okay, so you don't have to switch. But if you are doing the mindful breathing, and then after that, you can't do that, try another time. Okay, so don't be so quickly to give up. Okay, so that is part of the training. Okay, so give some space, some time. Be patient to yourself. That is something we have to do when we are doing this mindful breathing or counting, breath counting. Okay, so let us be mindful. you may open your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, fresh air in, and breathe out all of your stress. After taking 3 deep breaths, and let us move our body to the side. And front, back, you can also hold your hand on your knee, so it's kind of like a leverage. So you can kind of like a pull. So it's for you to do the balance, so you won't, kind of like tumble off. Okay, turn. Rub your hands to get warm, and cover your eyes with your palms. Roll your eyes clockwise, counterclockwise. And rub your face. Pull your ears or massage your ears. And comb your head. Massage your neck. And shoulders. Rub your hands. And rub your lower back. And you can release your legs and rub your legs and massage your legs. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to do the... Okay, so there's much more lightings. The sun came out. Okay, as you notice. So let me pull myself closer to the camera and the mic. Okay, there you go. Okay, so today, okay, so not yo. Okay, so last Friday or the previous Fridays, right? We have talked about the ideas of Anatman and Sunyata. Okay, so I hope that you don't get bored on this topic, okay, because this is kind of like a core ideas of Buddhism. So you might be wondering how to get to know or how to get the conclusion. So last Friday we have talked about something about how to get the conclusion of Sunyata. Okay, so maybe so the outer world, right? So actually, when we are talking about sunyata or anatman, we have to get a deeper understanding on which we call the law of causality or cause and effect. So I think that we have this ability, especially in our modern day, that we can understand more about cause and effect, right? Because there are scientific discovery, there are some research, there are a lot of theories about things, how things happen, and actually we can examine it too, right? Like sometimes if you get a lot of informations, right? So that is, you can't, it is it is able for you, or you're able to go a deeper uh, closer look at it, right? So cause and effect, right? So from the plate that you are eating, right, in the breakfast, your breakfast or your lunch, right, or your supper or dinner, right, up to like outer space, right? So you can see the cause and effect, right? So what makes your breakfast, right? Right. So it is not just you yourself or your mom or your your grandmom or anyone that serves as a cook, good cook, right? Okay, in your family, right? Okay, but it is not just him or her do the cooking, right? But we need ingredients, and we need maybe shipments. We need people to produce it, right? Okay, so or we need nature, right? Okay, so this one, as small as the things that you eat, or the or food you eat, things we use, right? Then that is all can be traceable from like different causes and effect, right? Right. So even when we are saying that organic farming, right? Then we will be kind of like, oh, this is the produce from which farm, right? Okay. So and so farm. Okay, or even there is some like a producer, right? Okay, or not a producer, like who made it, or who planted it, right? Or who harvested, right? So or who processed it, right? So that is kind of like a responsible made. Right. Okay, so I think this can tell us about cause and effect. So let us talk about us, right? So physically, or physiologically, physiology, physiologically. Okay, right. There are also cause and effect, right? For example, if you get sick, right, or you get tired, right? Then you might be kind of like recall, oh, what makes myself sick, or or tired, right? Is that because I exercise too much, or I do an extra job, or some things that is worries me a lot, so I get tired, right? Okay, so or I'm feeling tired. So that is also the cause and effect, right? Of course, there are the cause of the cause, right? Okay, so you can kind of like, oh, you can trace it further, okay, or kind of like further, then you might see a fast interconnection of us, of oneself to the others, right? Okay, so that is how we set cause and effect. And when we are looking at it, right, and we can find and get a conclusion of there something called sunyata. Actually, sunyata is something cause, right? It is law of causality. And another point, a very important point, is that there is nothing called a supernatural power, like, who can kind of like doing the magic. Okay, just like when we're talking about food, right? Food to eat, there are a chef, right, doing that things, right? But there are a lot of causes still, right? Like, so chef, we in Chinese we can say 巧妇难为无米之炊. Right? That means that a good chef cannot have a good food if there is no good ingredients, right? Okay, so so there is nothing we call a power or supernatural power or an only power that controls or manipulates all of these one. Okay, so that is called sunyata. Okay, sorry, sunyata. Okay, that is because when there are something went wrong, then all of that, that things connected, all of the things that connected will, go, maybe will get affected too. Okay? So for example, taking the example of the recent incidents that we know, that we have a pain in rocket rising of our gas price, right? Okay, so and the reason why we know that it is because of the Ukraine war. Right? So that is the main cause of that. Right? But there are also this affects the rising price of our gas, gas, and then it causes other other things to to get their get their price raised, right? Okay, because the shipments get shipments, right? It consume about of the gas, right? Okay, we need gas to make truck runs, right? Okay, or to get our car works, right? Okay, so there are a lot of things being connected and being affected, and so that is the reason why we said there is nothing, not a supernatural power or not a soul cause will affect everything. Okay, that is for us, it is not possible if we observe closely to the causes and effect, right? Okay, so we know that there are the Ukraine war is the main main cause, right, for the for the price raise of our gas, right? But this may not be a main cause, or maybe we can trace back on why there are Ukraine war, right? Okay, so there are anything, a lot of things are kind of like we have to get closer and look one another. Okay, so it's kind of like you're pulling these, it's just like a tangling yarn or a thread. You are going to untie it, like ooh, ooh, ooh. So that takes time, and sometimes you need patience, and you have to spend time to read, right? So we know that maybe we have no time for that. Okay, so that is the reason why sometimes we're not able to see further, right? Okay, so maybe it is our ability to know the whole picture, or that is there's no time, right? It is really a time consuming stuff, for us to get this through, right? Get everything, understandable, right? Okay, sometimes it is really, really out of our or beyond our imagination, or it is out of our experience for us to understand. Okay, so that is our limitation of knowing cause and effect. But that doesn't mean that we will stop, or that is the reason why we have to stop from getting everything straight. Right? But we can try as much as possible for us to kind of like, okay, so I know, then maybe we will be more understandable of the world, and that opens our heart and opens our mind to accept things. Okay, maybe a hardship. Okay, or we can anticipate something might happening, right? Okay, so that will kind of like giving our an attitude, or more open attitude, or open minded, that for the future, to the for the coming future. Okay, so we know life is so tough. Okay, so that is called sunyata, right? Like things around us, like cause and effect. Everyone is interdependent. Right? So if we know cause and effect, then we know that everything is interdependent. Right? So remember, so I have an example of taking the class of Dr. Lancaster, and he had an example of his the birth of his granddaughter, right? Okay, so for him to be a grandfather, he got to have a granddaughter, right? Okay, so that is interdependent, right? Okay, so maybe interdependent sheep. Okay, so from observing cause and effects, we can know that there is everything is interdependent. Okay, and we are so close that we get influenced by others, right? Okay, so that is then it comes to another conclusion, or another, it arises some of the emotions, like maybe gratitude, because oh wow, or a lot of things that made my day, right? Okay, so like I'm eating breakfast and I'm so thankful for those who make this breakfast possible. Okay, so I will be thankful for the cook, which is my lovely mom, or my lovely grandmom, right? Okay, or myself even, right? Okay, so but as well as we thank those like good causes and conditions, right? Okay, that make who those who make the ingredients, those who ships the food to the market, right? Okay, who stock the food on the shelf, right? Okay, so we will be more thankful, and we will be kind of like seeing the connections of oneself or myself to someone else, right? Maybe when you get into the store, then or a supermarket, you may be thankful for for any workers there, right? Because oh, maybe he was the one who put the tomato that I picked, right? Okay, or put it on the shelf, right? Okay, so then you get a connection with me and that person, right? Okay, and so that is very, very interesting. And if we really have an ability to look or to know that, right? And taking kind of like if there is, and so this is something that I was kind of like sometimes I will be doing some my imagination. So if there is really a way for us to, to draw, right? To draw our connectivities, right, with others. If there is some connections, right? Okay, like, like something that it, kind of like connect with me with others, right? Connecting me with others, like for example, as I said, people, the clerk, or the workers that put the tomatoes on the shelf, or the person who ships or who push the cart, right? Okay, so if we really are able to draw people that connected with us with a line or two. Okay. If there is more connectivities, then we can draw more lines, right? Okay. So then we are, we can see that we are bounded. Maybe it is not a good term, well, I'm not sure, but we are kind of like bounded with others, right? Closely. Okay, so that is something very, very interesting, and you never be, feeling that I'm all alone, all by myself, because actually my life, or every lives, are being supported by others, right? Okay, so and I will be very grateful, and I actually, when thinking about it, I am really, really very grateful, and for those. Maybe I will be just someone who come upon to me, and then who wouldn't, who knows that maybe he has some connection, right, with me. Okay, like maybe he was, some a worker of a firm, right, or in a company that make 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 things, right, that we are using, right? Okay, so then he contributed something, and then he has a connection with me, right? Okay, so I think this will be, kind of like open a new world, like open a new world to us, then, and we can see a lot of connections of myself to others, right? Even then to me. Okay, right? So like I kind of like, I need, if they are all related to me, then how can I harm them, right? How can I be, so hurtful to them, right? I should be very thankful, and that will make your yourself more like gratitude. So nice, thank you. Right? Okay, so then you will be kind of like, oh, you really want to bow down to everyone, say thank you, thank you. Thank you, making my life possible. Right? Okay, so I think that if we take a good look at it, then the first things that we can benefit is gratitude, right? Okay, and we are also grateful to all people that we meet, or we know, or we don't know, then because they are all supporting us to be alive, right? Okay, so that's so serious. Okay, but okay, uh, so being grateful, and we are kind of like being uh, being loved, right? Because seeing those hands, okay, maybe they are not aware of that, right? Okay, those hands who are, kind of like supporting you, okay, and they don't even aware of that, and we don't even aware of, right, of us supporting others, right? Okay, so but if we take a look at that, and we will be, like, oh, how amazing, and how thankful and grateful of having, you know people around us, right? Okay, so that is one thing, being gratitude. And if we are aware of the relationship with one another, then there is another things that we come up, right? Okay, and if we are really very very close to each other, then there will be gratitude, and also there will be compassion, right? Okay, or kindness, because they are so close to us. They supported us without their awareness. Okay, right. So because they have supported me, then if they are in help, in need, then that is maybe my time for me, for us to help them, right? Okay, so gratitude, compassion, or loving kindness, arising, and world peace. Okay, so no, I'm not just kidding. We hope, right? That is something that we hope for, but you know, uh, there are some other things that we are, we can't help. Okay, okay. Anyway, so that is the ideal way, right, for us to know. Okay, so maybe we can try that. Okay, and don't be afraid to get hurt, because sometimes people just didn't aware of the things that we are, we or the didn't aware or doesn't understand the world that we see, right? Okay, so the connectivities. Okay, and so and the only things that when we say that sunyata, and very very hopeful, because if there is no like a main cause that will be, doing the power, doing magical power of making things work, but it is kind of like we have to put in our effort to make things work. Then that will be, kind of like that will be our responsible or responsibilities for us make things happen, right? So we are doing the magic. Okay? So there are no others, okay, doing the magic for us, but we have to put the effort, right? We have to put causes, right, in the world or in our life to make things happen. Also, we have to put efforts to help ourselves, right? Okay, like for example, right, we are working, right, like doing some jobs, right, for us to make things, sustainable, right? To make our life sustainable, right? Or live our life, right? Okay. So this is something. This is also the effort, right? Right. So we have to put effort in to support us, also to support others, right? Right. Right. And that is something we call maybe then that is the starting point for us to say self mastery, right? Right. So the Buddha actually is the one who have a perfect grasp of self mastery. Right. So yeah, he is very very good at um, mastering or knowing his emotions, his state of mind, right? Okay, so that is called self mastery, right? So there is sunyata, right? And when we are aware of sunyata, then we are able to do the self mastery, right? Because everything is, we are also a cause of ourselves. We are also a cause of our ourself, okay, supporting ourselves, right? We are a cause of living a happy life, a happy spiritual life, right? Okay, we are our cause, right? A cause, one cause for us to, to transcend our worries, right? Right? Okay, you are our own cause for, for our, that enable us to, to liberate it, right? Okay, so that is the core ideas of sunyata, right? Cause and effect, or law of causality, how things related. And also there is no such, like a invisible hand. Okay, whether you said that is a law of the market, right? Okay, or like something supernatural, right? But right, that is our effort, right? All of the effort of everyone to make things happen. Or if you are the main cause of your life, right? Okay, yeah, if you are the main cause of your life, right, then you can kind of like trying to support yourself, right? Trying to elevate or transcend, right? How do you want to live your life, right? Okay, so this is something that we can think about, right? When we know sunyata. Okay, so that is something we can we can get from the core idea of sunyata. Okay, so that empowers ourselves, right? Okay, and that makes us more thankful to others, and there are compassion or loving kindness toward ourselves and also toward others. Okay, so how about, oh, wow. Okay, and how about when we call about sunyata? Okay, oh, not sunyata, anatman. Okay, so and we know something about, or we have a little taste about sunyata, right? Okay, now we are going to anatman. Okay, so this is much more deeper things, right, that we can kind of like think of or contemplate on. Okay, so maybe let us try to look at or look back on how we became, right? Okay, so we know that we are like these. Okay, we have eyes, nose, mouth, ears, right? Okay, right? Okay, we have limbs, right? Okay, okay. So we have torso. We are human, right? Okay, so so why do I became like this, right? Okay. So for example, talking myself, okay, just taking an example, maybe we can, kind of like look back on your history, right? Okay, so what makes me be here, right? Okay, sitting in front of the camera, okay, and in St. Louis temple, right? Having a lecture in meditation class, right? Right. So you may think of a lot of, like causes and effects, right? Okay. So yeah, I was to St. Louis Temple, right? I'm a nun, right? A Buddhist nun, okay, and I teach Buddhist meditation, right? I'm able to set up computers, right? Okay, to do the live streaming, okay, right? Okay, so and I know English. I learned Buddhism, I have a taste of meditation, so that brings me here, right? Okay, so then trace back. Okay, and so for example, for my experience of learning English, so English is my second language. So actually, it give when you are learning a second language, it is kind of like wow, it opens your eyes and minds to a different culture, a different world, right, that you never able to touch with, right? Okay, so you get wow, you get amused. Okay, you're amused. You are kind of like wow. Okay. So actually when I was 14, right? So I think that I have mentioned before, um, my dad was working in, oh, I was born in Taiwan. Okay, I'm from Taiwan. Okay, and my dad, when I was born, my dad went to the Philippines to set up a to go to his ambition. Okay, so set up his company. Okay, so and so we were right, we were kind of like uh, when I was born, just like about like 6 months or maybe a year after my birth. Then we moved to the Philippines. My family moved to the Philippines because of my dad wanting to set up a company there. Okay, so by my mom, okay, seeing how the Philippines, and she and my sister was kind of like an outgoing, and she was very smart. So she was 2 years older than me, so she was about 4 or 3, right, 3 year old. And she was kind of like after she got back to she got to the Philippines, then she was kind of like hanging mingle with the neighbors, right, the kids, the neighbors, neighboring kids. Right, okay, so he learned Tagalog, like the native language or the national language of the Philippines. Right? We know that Philippines also speaks English, so they are kind of like bilingual, but they also speak Tagalog, right? That is the national language of the Filipino. Okay, so she learned Tagalog very quickly, and then you know, and of course, the first things that she was learning was kind of like a bad words. you know, People learn bad words first. Okay, in when you're learning another language, a new language. Okay, so making sure that people is not talking back at you. Okay, okay, so so that my friend, my dad's friend, is hearing my sister was talking, the Tagalog, and she said he said, "Oh, do you know what your daughters taught or are talking?" And my dad said, "No." and 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 he said and says no, it is bad words, right? So but we learn, right? Children learns faster than the adults, right? Okay, but of course not just bad words, but daily conversation also, right? So uh so my mom was kind of like pondering, okay, and am I going to, let my kids, just forgetting the native language, or because we're speaking, Mandarin Chinese, right? Like, forgetting all of the, language, like speaking Tagalog and English, right? Maybe I have to take them back to Taiwan, okay, to do to have the education. Okay, so actually, my mom, she was kind of like against all odds. So she decided to, after, a short stay in the Philippines, my mom just took us, me and my sister, back to Taiwan. Right? So my dad left my dad alone in the Philippines for his work. Right? So my dad was working in the Philippines, and my mom was raising two kids, me and my sister, in Taiwan. Right? Then up to then we grew up happily, of course. Okay? And so we and sometimes we are, kind of like calling, right? Okay, so yeah. In that time, in back in 80s, right? Back in 80s, right? It is very hard for us to to travel, and even we have to, when we call international calls, there are operators, right? Okay, so it's not just like right now there's FaceTime, right? Or you get an app, then you can you can talk uh, anywhere, right? And any corner of the world that you can talk with your friend, or your relatives, or even your daughter, okay, your son, right? Okay, so but we have to, hello. And when we call, right? Okay, to my, it's not directly to my father, but it is kind of like a landlord of my dad. Then the landlord have to call my dad to answer the phone. Okay, so that is that time. Okay, so I think I hope that you don't have such such experience. Okay, but things are very, very, when you recall, it's such a tough time, but it is also memorable, right? Okay, so up to 14, and my mom think that it is time, so she and we flew back, and we moved back, move back. We moved back to to the Philippines. Okay? So, and that is a time when I learned English. I'm starting to learn English. Okay? But it is not from, it is not willing. Okay, not it is not from my will, but kind of like, okay, you want to move, okay, so just move. Okay, but I have no comment. But I don't care. It's kind of like teenage, right? Teenager. You can't really tell how you feel, but you just being arranged. But there are grouches, but you can help, right? Okay, you can help saying that, oh, mom, can I stay alone in Taiwan? It's not possible, right? Okay, I am. And I really miss my dad, so just go there. Okay, so so that, and I was kind of like, when I was in the Philippines, when I got to go to school, right? Then I was kind of like being forced to lower a grade. So, for example, when I was 14, right, it should be sophomore in high school, uh, but the school said, "Oh, you're not qualified, so you have to start from freshman." And I was so mad, Hey, that my age was kind of like sophomore. Why you just lower my grade, right? Okay, so I was kind of like so mad, so sad. So I was kind of like tearing all the curriculum, all the book lists, when upon the registration day. So this is something that I remembered, but I don't know. There are other memories from my mom's part, right? My sister's part. Right? But as far as I remember, I was so sad and mad. Like I was kind of like, okay. But after graduation, right, or after maybe 5 years or 7, 10 years, to look back on the incidents of, starting all over from freshman high school, right? And I realized that I'm appreciated, yeah. I am appreciated that I learn or I start from freshman, okay? Because that is the time I can have a full learning process. From freshman we learn biology, right? We learn something. We learn typing, English typing. Okay, so okay. And I remember that the typing is still the typewriters. You have to do very do a lot of force. It's not just typing on the computer, the keyboard, but it is really the typewriters. I think that you all have that experience, right? Okay. But this is very good because you can do your anger, right? Okay. Whatever that empowers you to press that key, that that it is mechanic, so you won't break it, right? Okay. It is really hard to break, right? Unless you put all the keys, right, together. Then that all the things will mesh together, will join together. You have to pull it. Okay, so looking back after years after, then I started to appreciate my experience of my life, especially my learning or my education process. Right? So from high school freshman up to senior year. Okay, and that made me, that is a full and complete learning experience for me, right? Biology, and I forgot the sophomore, but then chemistry and physics, right? Okay, so, and also in English literature too, like there are different levels, right? So I was pretty grateful, and I learned typing. So I type very fast because I even don't have to look at the keyboard, and I can, kind of like typing, you know, I can be the secretary, okay. So that makes me, that is the things that I really benefit from. Okay, the typing. Okay, but I'm very, very grateful. Okay, and so sometimes when we talk about our life, okay, so from maybe in at the moment of the hardship, you think that it is hardship, right? Because you really don't really appreciate it. You get mad, or you are saddened by the situation that you encountered, right? But after that, okay, then you look back, then you will think, or you will be, you find something that is really precious there. You really learn something there, right? It really give you some lessons there, for you yourself, right? I think that our life, right, now even or especially right now, we know that life is tough because there are a lot of bad news, right? Okay. A lot of burdens, because there are, prices get high, but not the salary you get, right? Or maybe your retirement fund get, get not, not good, because, you have to withdraw more to cover your expenses, right? But maybe later, okay, if we have time, or we can spend our flexibility, you know, I don't know how to do the flexibility, but we can live our life. Okay, so carry on. Okay. Then after a few years, then when we look back, we'll say, oh, it is worth it. Okay. So I think that our life is kind of like things piles, an event piles another event, right? Like maybe you might forget something, right? But sometimes it will come back again, right? Up, okay, and without nowhere, right? And you don't know why it came up, right? Okay, some memory of something, right? Okay, then but it is your life. And if we really, carry on, even it is tough, but we are grateful because of, every, just as I said, as I mentioned about, the understanding of Sunyata. As long as we are grateful, we possess a loving kindness and compassion, then we carry on, right? Even it is tough, uh, one day and another, okay, a moment and the next, okay, then we have to, kind of like, oh, yes, okay, maybe now I didn't feel anything about it, but a few years after, when we look back, everything might be a sweet memories or even a memories, but you will learn something, okay, an event that you can learn something, an event that inspires you something, okay. So never give up, because there are a lot of invisible hands, okay, okay. Not just one hand, right, okay, but there are invisible hands that is just so close to us, right, our neighbors, the community that we live, okay? Natures that we enjoy, maybe the air that we breathe, okay, right, okay, or the rains that we enjoy, right, that all nurtures us, right, and these things carries us, okay, maybe it is not high, right, it carries us not high and enjoyable, but maybe it is kind of like, right, and just durable, right, okay, just, yeah, my life is just like that, okay, but you don't have to, be, so high then drop down something, right, okay, but we can also really appreciate it. And I think that if we really see the connectivities, we really, or when we look back, no matter that what we encounter is, is uh, pleasurable, or maybe it's just bearable, or unbearable, but it is life, okay, and now we are here, okay, we learn something, and we are really appreciated, like maybe some one that we hate, but get some, something hurtful to me, but that make myself to learn something, right, okay, so my master always said that, oh, I know teaching because there are a bad teacher that I met who teaches me how to teach, because his teaching skill is so bad, right, okay, I'm a good architect because there are a lot of architectures that is very enjoyable, but also there are bad architectures, right? Or bad buildings that I know that there is something wrong with that. I can learn from it, right? Okay. So this is a learning process. So never give up, because we are also supporting ourselves. Okay. So not just the hands, okay, that people that around us, but we are also ourselves. We are also the main cause of ourselves. Okay, so I hope that this Dharma talk will, kind of like give some strength for us to live our life in this tough period. Okay, so I think that we have encountered a situation that is much worse than now. But there are, maybe this is your worst moment. I'm not sure, but uh, please don't give up. Have faith, because there are a lot of people or a lot of resources that are supporting ourselves. Okay, so never give up, and don't forget, we are the main cause to support ourselves also. Okay, so thank you very much. And next Friday, we're going to really go in deeper to our the very core, also the very core idea of anatman. Okay, this is a tough, tough uh, idea. Okay, that you might find your kind of like uh, going nowhere, but I also be patient for yourself, okay, or to yourself. Give some time and to digest, right? Okay, because we need time to digest what we are eating, right? Okay, so something that we learn something new, then we have time to digest. Okay, so give ourselves time, give ourselves a little bit patience, a little bit loving kindness also, right, for us to digest these uh, these things. Okay, so there are ways to get there, right? To get the conclusion of Sunyata and Natman, but we have to, do step by steps. Right? So observing things around, people that you meet, right? Appreciate things that you see, appreciate people you meet, right? Because they are the person that supports us. Okay, so thank you very much. And I will see you next Friday. So bye. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Again. Okay, so we have to do the appreciation by taking 3 vows, right? Okay, so let us express our deep appreciation to the Buddha and all the good causes and conditions that made this streaming and our lives possible. Okay, so okay, so thank you very much. So bye bye. I see you Friday. Carla, thank you. Thank you also. I miss you guys. Okay, bye bye.